Hello, my friends. Good evening. This is Tassif starting a new live stream. Tuesday night, we are getting close to Thanksgiving this week, Thursday, and I hope that you all are looking forward to it. I am. Thanksgiving is a wonderful time. There's a lot to be grateful for, my friends. There's a lot to be thankful for. I know that in life we have different challenges, we have different problems, issues. It's normal, it's part of being a human being. Life's not perfect, but we always have to be thankful. We have to be grateful for what God has given us, and we have to be thankful for the blessings, and we have to have hope. We have to have faith, and we have to work hard. And most importantly, we have to be nice to other people. Okay, this is probably the most important point. Have to be nice to other people. Okay, so my goal always is to um, reach more people and grow this community. As I say, it's a community of freedom loving people. And I want to make sure that as we are discussing social and political issues, domestic and international, we're nice to each other in spite of our differences of opinions, similarities. Obviously, a lot of people agree with me, a lot of people don't. So we have opinions that are similar, opinions that differ quite a bit. We discuss a lot of issues, and in some cases, things get a bit heated, right? Intense disagreements take place, but we always have to be nice to each other, nice to other people, and that should be, it's very simple, easy to remember, but we have to follow that in each and every action that we perform. Okay, so I'm gonna recognize a few friends whose names I see here. Kay Cooper from Texas. Kay, good to see you. We got Evelyn from Las Vegas, Nevada. We got Salerno here. Hi, Salerno. And I know more friends will be tuning in very, very soon. So Evelyn, Kay, Salerno, great to see you all. And let's continue. So we're first going to talk about the Ukraine-Russia war, okay? And I hope that the war comes to an end soon. You know, how many times have I said that? And I think there are so many people all around the world who would like to see this war come to an end, and it's just taking long. It's not an easy war to address. It's not an easy problem to solve, you know. Keep in mind that this issue would never have taken place if we had Donald J. Trump in office when this war started. If Donald J. Trump would have been in office, this war would never start. But there was Joe Biden in office, which is why, there was a lack of leadership in the White House, and Russia took advantage of that. And Russia started this war. Russia is the aggressor, obviously. And both the people of Russia and the people of Ukraine are suffering as a result. I mean, Russia, being the aggressor, attacked Ukraine. But in the process, both countries are suffering because there are Russian soldiers who are dying. There are Ukrainian soldiers who are dying. So anyway, President Trump now back in the White House after a 4-year gap, and it was during this 4-year gap that the war started. So President Trump is back in the White House, and he's trying his best to bring this war to an end. Now, President Trump admits that he thought it would be an easy war to solve, and it turned out to be one of the most difficult challenges of present day. So anyway, the good news is that President Trump said that we're having good talks with Russia and Ukraine is doing well. President Trump said that we're making progress. President Trump said that this is one of the most this is one of the more difficult ones, meaning this war has been very difficult to solve. But President Trump also highlighted that the two countries, they got to stop the war. Lots of soldiers dying, lots of human lives being lost, lots of bloodshed, lots of just, unbelievable trauma. Even those who are, maybe they're not dying, but they are being impacted by the war, and they're going to have to carry this trauma throughout the rest of their lives. If somebody is experiencing the loss of a loved one because of the war, the people who survive, they still go through pain and suffering. So anyway, this war needs to come to an end, and the issue of the border has to be solved, because a big question now is, what will the border look like? Is it going to be the old Ukraine-Russia border, or will there be land swap? Will Russia be getting part of Ukraine? Will Ukraine be getting land from Russia? We don't know if there's going to be an exchange, if there's going to be, what it will look like. But there has to be a definite border if this matter has to be addressed. A permanent solution would require the drawing of a clear border, whatever that may look like. Okay, so the issue always pertains to land, and we see that in conflicts across the world. It's about land. It's about who wants more land, who can get more land, and we have seen that not just in present day international politics and conflict, but if you look at history, even going back to ancient history, when kingdoms would fight, when different tribes would fight, when different kings would come and clash in the battlefield, it was always about land. Even if land is not the primary issue, sometimes it's about ego, right? Two kings, who's going to win, who's more powerful. It's that competition. But at the end of the day, the issue of land comes up, okay? Because, in old days, emperors would try to get more land, okay? Conquer and get more land, get more real estate. And this is what Russia's trying to do, present day. Russia is trying to just get more land from Ukraine, okay? So that it can have greater control. I think Russia wants land, but anyway, we'll see what happens. There has to be a proper border, not a border that cuts off a highway, not a border that goes through the middle of a house or a town. I think President Trump used his own language to explain some of that during recent media interview. The border has to be cleaned up. There has to be a definite border. And President Trump's team is going to Moscow for further talks. You may have seen that. It's likely, I don't think it's confirmed yet. I think if I say is going to be in Moscow, that may not be entirely correct. I should say President Trump's team is likely to be in Moscow for further talks. So it's going to be Steve Witkoff. He may be visiting Russia soon for further peace talks. And Steve Witkoff, obviously, if you've been paying attention to diplomacy, President Trump's team, and how the team has been engaging in diplomacy pertaining to different issues around the world. Steve Witkoff is a name that's become very, very popular. He's the special envoy, and he's doing great. So Steve Witkoff may be in Russia soon. Diplomacy is not easy, my friends. Diplomacy is not easy. It's not easy during normal situation, and when there's a war going on, diplomacy is even more difficult. So the best and the brightest minds will have to engage in talks. And so I'm confident that President Trump's team is going to do the best, is going to do their best. They are going to perform at their highest level to have successful diplomatic talks. And President Trump himself, he is very engaged in this, and he has answered many questions directly to the media about this matter. And so I have a feeling that we are very close to seeing the war come to an end. What are your thoughts, my friends? Tommy Brown's here. Tommy Brown, good to see you. We got Memphis. Salerno is here. Hi, Salerno. Okay. Anyway, as you can see, I am using subscriber only mode, so we're not seeing a lot of trolls here. We're not seeing any trolls here. No trolls today, which is pretty amazing. Okay, so we're getting frequent updates about this from the Trump administration, but there's a lot of confidentiality when it comes to foreign relations. So I know people want frequent updates, real-time updates. It's not possible. We do get periodic updates from either Secretary Marco Rubio or President Donald Trump himself or somebody from his administration. They come and share updates about the Ukraine-Russia peace talks, peace updates. But you can't, I mean, there's so much of confidentiality. We have to wait patiently because we cannot be getting real-time updates. And so we have to wait and see what the final agreement between Ukraine and Russia ends up being. We did get an update today that Ukraine has agreed to the peace deal, but there are always some minor details that need to be sorted out. So things will need to be looked at and finalized. Okay, there's always some detail that needs to be, processed. Anyway, the most important thing to keep in mind is that the end of the war will save lives. We need the war to end. When the war ends, the bloodshed stops. Okay, prevention of death, prevention of further bloodshed. So let's hope for the best. All right. By the way, my friends, today's live stream is going to be, I'm guessing it's going to be shorter than usual. Okay, because I'm gonna try to get some sleep. I was up most of last night. Was reading, doing a lot of reading. I didn't get much sleep, and then I had a busy day. So I'm probably gonna end this a little early. I hope you understand. But it's always great to see. I didn't want to skip a live stream because I thought, okay, maybe I'll skip today. And I said no. Especially the Ukraine-Russia peace updates. I've been following this so closely, and I just had to share some information with you. Anyway, my friends, let's now talk about Venezuela. There's a big question mark when it comes to Venezuela. What is the plan when it comes to Venezuela? We know that there's a dictator in that country, Nicolas Maduro. He is a dictator. There's no doubt about that. Authoritarian, you can call him that. You can call him a dictator. I think a dictator is a better description of Nicolas Maduro. And you know what? He tries to act like he's so cool. That's what he does. Recently, we saw a video of Maduro dancing. Did you see that? Did you see that? I think I mentioned it briefly. Was it yesterday or the day before? Nicolas Maduro was dancing. And I thought that Nicolas Maduro actually tried to copy some of President Trump's dance moves, okay? Not the entire thing, but he kind of tried to copy a little bit of President Trump's dance style. And you can see that if you pay close attention. Anyway, so what Maduro is really trying to do, I mean, everything that he does in front of the cameras, there's a purpose to it. You got to keep that in mind. If you see Nicolas Maduro being very, very serious in front of the camera, there's a reason for that. He's trying to portray something. When you see him smiling in front of the camera, I don't know if it's a genuine smile or not, but I do know that he's trying to portray some kind of a message. When he's serious, he's trying to portray a message, something. When he's smiling, when he's dancing, he's trying to portray an image of himself. And I think what Maduro is trying to show is that, oh, look how relaxed he is. How relaxed Nicolas Maduro is. Very, very relaxed. He's dancing. On one hand, there's military buildup, United States military buildup, more and more military resources being deployed in that region. So Maduro, deep inside, he's so afraid. Maduro's heart is full of fear. Maduro is afraid. He can't sleep at night because he doesn't know what's going to happen. President Trump has deployed massive resources to that region. And so you think Maduro goes to bed at night and he's relaxed and he's getting an 8-hour sleep? I don't think so. He's worried. He's worried 24/7. But in front of the camera, and he does that intentionally because he knows that the images being captured, the video clips being captured of Nicolas Maduro dancing, that's going to be spread all over the world. So he's trying to show that, hey, look, I'm so relaxed. Oh, I got nothing to worry about. I'm cool. I'm dancing. I'm happy. But deep inside, we know Nicolas Maduro is very, very afraid. My friends, do you agree with me? Do you agree with my viewpoints? Or are you going to say, Tassif, I think you're wrong? Maduro is afraid. Maduro is living in fear. Maduro is facing tremendous uncertainty. He doesn't know what's going to happen the next day. But on camera, he tries to show how relaxed he is. Maduro is afraid. He's full of fear. He's afraid of the United States of America. Nicolas Maduro of Venezuela, he's afraid of Donald J. Trump. Maduro doesn't know what the future holds. So back to the question, what's the plan? What's the plan regarding Venezuela? Will there be diplomacy? Will conversation with Nicolas Maduro take place? Will the two countries, the United States of America and Venezuela, engage in talks? We know that the United States has deployed a lot of resources, military resources in the region, and Maduro is afraid as a result. And this is what dictators do. They try to portray strength like Maduro is doing. They try to hide their fear. But here's an interesting development, my friends. According to reports, President Trump said that he may speak with Maduro. That's right. President Trump said that. He said that he may speak with Maduro. So that means President Trump is open. He's open to using diplomatic methods. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens. Of course, we know that President Trump is always willing to have a dialogue. He's always willing to talk. He talked with Vladimir Putin. He talked with Kim Jong-un of North Korea, President Trump, he talked with Kim Jong-un. President Trump is the only sitting US president who walked into North Korea. In the history of the United States, he's the only person to walk into North Korea, Donald Trump, to walk into North Korea while being a sitting president. He did that. So if President Trump can talk to Kim Jong-un of North Korea, President Trump can definitely talk to Nicolas Maduro. And I think the United States of America has great advantage, tremendous advantage. If there's a talk that's going to take place, going into that talk, the US has tremendous advantage because Nicolas Maduro knows our power. And I think there's pressure on Maduro as well. I think his allies are also afraid. And Maduro's closest advisors and allies may be afraid to the extent that they may be putting pressure on Maduro. That's a guess. Maduro's advisors may be requesting Maduro. They may be urging him to make peace, like peace, have a conversation with President Trump and find a way for peace. Because even Maduro's strongest allies are afraid of US military power. They're afraid that the United States of America might take some kind of tough military action. And what would happen then? So my friends, let's wait and see what happens. I think it's in Nicolas Maduro's best interest to engage in dialogue with the United States. And the US has every right and every power, every resource to take very, very strong action against Maduro. US can do that. So it's in Maduro's best interest to start dialogue with United States. So let's see what happens. All right. Okay, my friends, I am very sorry I'm going to end this live stream early. I apologize. I usually have live streams that are much longer. So I'm going to end this today. I'll try to catch up on some sleep. So I appreciate you all being here. And sorry, I wish I could stay here a little longer. Thank you, my friends. I appreciate you all very, very much. But stay connected because I'll be doing more live streams and publishing more videos. So stay connected. May God bless you all. May God bless President Donald J. Trump. May God bless the Trump administration. May God bless the Republican leaders in Washington. May God bless the United States of America. May God bless our U.S. allies. And may God bless freedom-loving people all over the world. Thank you, my friends. Please stay connected, and I'm going to be back again very soon with more live streams and more podcast episodes. Thank you so very much. Remember, my friends, together we will make America great again. Have a good night, and I'll see you soon.